to chapter 4 again, and maybe we'll just do a recap. So in the third chapter, Krishna was towards the end was saying how the knowledge and all is covered by lust, and so one has to overcome lust. Lust and ignorance, therefore lust covers knowledge, and ignorance will then hold you to the material world. So one has to work in a detached way, and then will give or attain transcendental knowledge. So in the fourth chapter, this transcendental knowledge is emphasized and how it is received. So from verses 1 to 10, Krishna talks about the transcendental knowledge about himself. Okay. And to begin about, he says how this knowledge was always present, and he always gives it or teaches it, but people lose it. Because material nature is such that there's flux always, there's always changes. So therefore you lose it. So in the very first verse he says how this knowledge he taught it to the sun god. Okay? Vivaswan. And then later Vivaswan taught to Manu, and Manu taught to his son Maharaj Ishwaku. And Maharaj Ishwaku is the king in the earth, okay, earthly planet. And he is the forefather of the Raghu dynasty, in which Lord Ramachandra took birth. Okay, so this is like close to like 1.2 million, like that. Huh? So about 2 million years ago, this knowledge was spoken to his son. Manu spoke it to Maharaj Ishwaku. So then Arjuna is curious how this can be so. He wanted to know also. And a side bite to this is the knowledge is taught to the kingly dynasty. Kingly. Now the kingly dynasty there's only two of them. One is from the sun god and the other is from the moon god. So the Kshatriyas are coming from these two lineage. Okay. So the sun god lineage is where Lord Ramachandra took birth, and in the moon dynasty is when Krishna takes birth. So these are the two Kshatriya Vamsas. Okay, then therefore this science, he says, about God, the relationship between God and the living entities, material nature, the interaction, all this science is lost. The Dharma, how to practice it, is lost in due course. And you can see we lose some knowledge, right, that we learned many years ago, some things. So the same way, people also lose those understanding also. Or they make up something, they modify whatever. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives an example of a lady getting married. So in a wedding, they all came, friends and everyone. So she was waiting for the groom to come. So while she was waiting, while they were about to exchange a vow, a cat jumped in front. So the mother of the girl took the cat and put it in a basket, and then put the basket next to the daughter, and then they continued with the vow. So then years later, 20, 30 years later, the woman was thinking about all this because her own daughter was getting married. So when the wedding was all set up for her daughter to marry, just as they were about to exchange the vows, she stopped the wedding. She said, no, and then they said, what happened? She said, we need a cat. Then they all said, okay, why? No, we need a cat because when I got married, my mother put a cat, and then my whole life, everything was wonderful.
So it becomes a ritual.
It became a ritual, it became a tradition. So similarly, for us also, these things happen in life. So, and then, or you get modified or changed for no reason. It has no value actually. But people do that. People just do certain things. Sometimes you see people come to the temple room, they pay obeisance. Some people do some funny ways. They all come up with their own thing because they see their parents do or whatever, and they just do without understanding. But we read the scripture, there's only two ways. One is dandavats flat, the other one is prostrated, in a squat position like that, hunched over, like that. But people come with their own things. And so therefore, knowledge also gets twisted and changed over the generations, unless there is a system by a check and balance system. If there's no Guru Parampara, then there's no check and balance. The Guru Parampara system is the check and balance system. the sadhu, shastra and guru. They will check, you can always check and make sure it's not going on. So therefore, after hearing from Krishna, and he only tells this information to people who are his devotees, or his friend. So otherwise, you cannot understand. It's not easy to understand if you are envious of somebody, and whatever they do, you cannot understand. You only see faults in it. So therefore, Krishna says, I only teach it to devotees. I won't teach it to demons. Okay? And even if I teach it, the demons won't understand it, in a sense. So then, Arjuna is curious because he wants to know how can you teach this to the sun god, but you're my cousin brother. So that's his question, and it's a valid question, and he wants to find out for himself how is that, and he's asking this question so that all of us can really understand why this is valid. Otherwise, we also won't know why this is set up in this way. If Arjuna did not ask on our behalf, then Krishna won't explain and we won't know some of these reasons. Therefore, it's important. So in text 5, Hare Krishna. So then,
interesting, based on what you said, I observed is, whatever we are going through now, the lull period where we don't have that parampara like teachers, gurus and teaching people, right? So we are not following any of rituals.
We are following now.
No. Yeah. So similarly, it happened many times before, as you said.
Yeah.
So hopefully, many years from now, again we will hit the peak.
The peak, yeah. But now we have the Guru Parampara.
Right.
It's coming through Srila Prabhupada.
Right. It's going.
So we have gurus and they will have their disciples who become gurus and so on. So this is going on. Now that the Guru Parampara is there, the emphasis, as you said, is not there, right? So as more and more people take up and it may hit a high. Okay, so then from the 5th text onwards, Krishna then explains to Arjuna's query as to how is this possible that you taught to the sun god. It's on, don't touch.
It's on.
So this question is asked for benefit of others and gives Krishna the opportunity to speak about himself also. So then in the 5th up to the 10th verses, Krishna reveals his transcendental position about his birth and activities. So 5 and 6 talks about the fact that his birth is not like our birth. Okay? He says many births he's been through, he can remember, whereas we cannot remember anything because we change our birth. Every life we change from one body to another. So and he also says in text is that Ajobi Sannavyagama, that he takes birth, his body is the same, Sachinananda, it is not different. Whereas our body is generally matter. That's different. Matter has to grow, dwindle and then perish after a while. Whereas spirit is eternally existing. So therefore he can remember everything and we can't. Then verses 7 and 8 talks about Krishna's activities. It explains when and why Krishna appears and the reasons for his descent. When he comes, when the religion is declining, when people are not following religious practices, or there's too much irreligion going on, then he comes. These are two reasons when he comes. Why he comes? He comes to annihilate the demons, get rid of people who are causing a lot of problems, and to deliver the devotees from anxiety. Because the devotees are always thinking about the Lord. They want to see him, they are in anxiety. So he comes to deliver the devotees, and then to re-establish again the principles of religion, dharma itself. So these are the 3 reasons why he comes. Of the 3, his main reason is to deliver his devotees. That is the main reason he comes. Because the other 2, he can send someone else, or in due course of time anyway people will die. So he doesn't really have to do that. But the main reason is to relieve the anxiety of the devotees. Okay? Alright, so then text 9. Is about knowing about his, understanding about his activities. what this transcendental birth is all about. It is not the same as an ordinary birth. His activities are not ordinary. Whatever activities he does is beyond the mundane level, supra-mundane. Okay, it's beyond mundane. That's why it's called supra-mundane. So, and anyone who understands this, meditates on this, worships these things and thinks about it, he or she gets the ability at the time of death to remember the Lord because of the practice that you are doing. And when you can constantly focus on the Lord, His name, His pastime, at that time you leave your body and goes back straight to the spiritual world. So that He guarantees that. And then in text 10 is what we are here. Okay? So today we'll continue. So that was the summary. And so, so when you go back to the spiritual world, you never come back. Okay? So you don't have to come back and deal with all these things here. Unless Krishna wants you to come back, that's a different thing. Alright, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, let's stand. Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Pasvitaha Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Bhuta Madbhava Magataha. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So here, there are three things that generally most people are affected by. Okay, so they cannot understand personal nature of the Lord because of these three things. And there are different degrees of, you can say like sickness or affliction. Okay. So raga means attachment. Basically, people who are having attachment, they have strong material attachment. So strong. The attachment for materialism is so strong that they cannot take up spiritual life. So that's what raga here indicates. They are too much absorbed in material life, doing this and that. The bag is like Doctor Who's box. So for most of us also, if we are always attached to our body, our family, relatives, anything material that we are very strongly attached, then our focus is on those things only. You cannot be thinking of Krishna at all. Not possible. So if you say, oh no, it's okay, I can do that, and it's not true. You are only thinking of that, and you won't think of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, one who's so materially or having strong material attachment cannot by any means focus on the Supreme Lord. So that is the point Krishna is saying. So he's saying one has to become free from attachments. These attachments will lead you away from the Supreme, lead you away from spiritual practices. So therefore we cannot focus on too much material things. We focus on material things for the bare necessities. Go to the shop, buy whatever we need to cook and so on. That's about it. You need a house, a simple house, you don't have to be too complicated. And then fix it such that you don't have to keep on adding blemishes or extra embellishments.
But what about like parents and siblings? I'm not talking about things. I'm talking about...
That is also material relationships. So parents also, after you've done your duty, then you let them grow on their own, if it's your children, you know. You can advise them, but you do not be attached to your advice. That means you expect them to do what you want. No. You give them advice and don't worry about the result, because they are old enough to make the right decision.
I'm not talking like advice and things like that.
But that's also
when
attachment.
yeah, but when they're not, like suppose parents get older and if they are not well, you worry about them.
Okay, yeah.
That is also
Attachment also, yeah, but that is also the same thing also. It's a different emotion altogether. So we feel differently and we probably understand it differently, that if someone is sick, then you have a fear and so on. Those kind of things will really, because of our attachment, strong attachment, we cannot be aloof of the situation. So we have to learn to let go at a due course of time. So practice must be there. You
do it as a duty.
Yeah, to take care of them.
Some of the parents, but don't get attached.
Because
with the suffering.
yeah.
So how is attachment and duty different? Because as long as you are attached, you are bound to do your duties.
Yeah, you do your duty, but then at the same time, attachment means what? That you want them, for example, let's say you have a very elderly parent, they're going to die, and then you're taking care of them, right? The attachment is that you don't want them to go. That is the attachment. Yeah. The duty is to take care of them.
The extremes of them is attachment.
Yeah. The right way is you take care of them, and when they have to go, yeah, you cry because you miss them. But that's it. After that, you cannot dwell on it and lament forever.
So a level of attachment is still needed for the life to go on.
It is not really attachment in that sense. That's what we mean by attachment. Having affection is not like attachment. Yeah, you can show some affection, but you cannot be meditating on them for the rest of your life. So that is attachment. Attachment is that which is always on your mind, 24/7. So yeah, so it is difficult. If let's say you have a very loving parents, it's going to be difficult. But then by reading constantly, and then you experience that I have to give it up. At that moment, you may not even be able to think of all that you learned. So yeah, you cry and all, that's acceptable. But after that, you have to think that this has happened, now they are gone, and I'll pray for their well-being. And that's it, but you cannot think continuously and then lose the ability to live your own life. That is attachment. Your own life should be, now I have to focus more on Krishna, otherwise I will lose it, Then if you think like that, this attachment will drag you back into another life. And that's why we are teaching how not to do this. You have your own life to continue. You have your own life to take care of another person who is dependent on you. There are so many other variables you have to look at. So the duty is important, but the attachment must be only up to a certain level. You can feel that affection, emotions there. But when it's gone, you have to also let go. Yeah.
But is it okay to get attached to Krishna and spiritual master?
Oh, that's fine. That's
Spiritual
spiritual.
master is okay.
Anything spiritual you can get attached to. Spiritual master is also spiritual. He is representative of the Supreme Lord. Sakshat Daritmen Nasamastra Sakshat. He is not different from the Supreme Lord. I already explained about the Pancha Mahayagna. So if you want, you can ask them. I've been waiting for 3-4 days to say because I never saw it. And yesterday I was too busy trying to explain things. So I did that. So those who missed out, you just check the others. Because I just don't want to keep going back. Alright, so this is attachment. Now we are on verse 10 now. So that is attachment. Okay? So then fear. Fear is bhaya. The fear here Krishna talks about is fear of a spiritual identity. There are people who don't want that. Because this is one reason, they have a relationship in the family, for example, or with some working colleague or something, or your boss. But then what they find all throughout their life, the relationship becomes too intense. And it's painful relationships. right? They get angry and so on, just like you experience sometimes. So in the end, they say, if the spiritual world has relationship, then I don't want to have anything to do with spiritual, because I don't want to experience this pain again. So there are this kind of people also. So there are people who are fearful of spiritual existence based on their material experience. So, but that is false, because spiritual existence is always blissful. Yes, perfect. No pain. Even if the pain is there, it is blissful. It's so much happiness. Even if the pain is happiness there. So they don't understand it, lack of knowledge, ignorance. So that drives them away from spiritual life. So they become impersonalists and so on. Because, nothing like that. They don't accept anything. So that is the reason. And this happens also because they are too much attached to their relationship in the bodily concept. And therefore, because of too much attachment, it negates and then it throws them away. And so they don't want to have anything to do with them. It frightens them. Okay? So they become like impersonalists. Ultimately become impersonalists. And then the last one is krodha. Krodha means anger. This becomes from a group of people also who are frustrated in life because of so many problems or other matters or dealings. We get frustrated sometimes. But they experience so much frustration that they become angry at all kinds of spiritual path also. Because they try one path, they go to one place, they go to a different church, they go to temple, they go to mosque. Everyone tells you something and they see some problems. So then they reject all this. They don't want to. And then to get out of this hopelessness they have, they don't know where to put this hopelessness. They cannot land into the spiritual life, so they've rejected all. So they take to intoxication. And then others will take to drugs, and then they want to go into that. So these people ultimately become, nihilists or sunyavadis. That they say nothing. Actually, the goal of the life I want is nothing, zero. Then I'll be happy. So this is how there are three types. So Krishna says, one cannot be in these three kinds of situation. You cannot. You must be free from anger. You must be free from this fear. You must be free from your attachment. Then you can practice devotional life peacefully. If you have this kind of problems, you cannot practice it properly. Okay? Now, how do you overcome this? In the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada said, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord. That means in your life, as you are seeing so many situations, all these situations must recompose back to Krishna, must come lead back to the Supreme Lord. From Him solution will come. Through Him, through His devotees, the solution, the way to live our lifestyles will come. So one has to take shelter of the Lord and all His devotees. Okay? And to do that, we must come more and more for sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha means associating with devotees. That's important. In the beginning, maybe you come once in a while, and then later on weekly. Then after that, you can call each other and say, I have this situation, or I want to do this, I want to go to Vrindavan and this and that. More and more, you're talking only about Krishna and spiritual life. So that's how you get free from this attachment. You get free from this bhaya, anger, fear and anger. Okay? So it helps you progress actually. Coming together, talking about it, helps you make the next step into your spiritual life. It elevates your consciousness. Otherwise all these material things will pull your consciousness down. But when you associate, you find it easy to let go. Just like if you ever dived from a 12-foot platform, the first time you go, you are fearful, no? But if someone is with you, right, they all hold hands and they jump, you can do it. Then after that it's easy to do it on your own. So the same way when you're together, you are stronger. Huh? Just like there's a whole thing. If you have one stick, you can easily break it. But if you have a bunch of sticks, it's hard to break. So association is like that. It fortifies your faith in Krishna. If you're alone, your mind and your other bad association will break your faith. And then you won't practice properly. So to practice effectively, you must come and associate. Or you invite people to your home. Open your house to devotees and invite them, feed them. And then, prasad. So like that, they give you blessings. Even coming to your house is a blessing. And the Lord becomes pleased. And you make advancement. You can't see. You may think, I'm just calling, they're eating and they're going. But actually you're making advancement by doing seva, Vaishnava seva. So these are very important things. We don't put importance in that because of many conditioning we have. But these are very important. The simple, hi, Haribol, how are you? Or just pick a phone and say, hey, I haven't seen you in the temple for 1 week, what happened? That simple call will affect the other person's heart so much. It's so important. They may be waiting for the phone calls. Why did nobody care about me? Actually, frankly speaking, in this world, people don't care about one another. That's why you have so much problems in society. But here is where you learn what love is. You learn how to give love. And you love love, who's supreme love. So you learn these things and then you practice it. So that's why, otherwise you will be stuck in attachment, fear and anger. Whole life is like that. You can see. You can just cross section, you see, yes, I have this problem, this problem.
Yeah, until we realize that we have to admit that.
Exactly. And the easy way to admit is in association. On your own you can't. The hardest battle is on your own because your mind is stronger than you. But with association you can have the blessings and then you become stronger than the mind. After that you can go on your own and help others. Yes.
Yeah, personally actually it's very evident, like when we come to the temple, you feel like very recharged, when you go to work and otherwise very...
You feel the recharge.
Yeah, confident. But it's only, it doesn't last for so long, unless you come every day.
Yeah, it is a fact, because here it's all, environment is pure, the lords are here, so everything that is material will fall off from you. As soon as you go out, even though you are pure, because you're not sustaining that consciousness, you're loud, you're mixing and so on, your consciousness slowly gets, things start sitting on your shoulders, and then you got to do it, and then you're feeling very bad, and then by the end of the week you have no more life.
Yeah, work, home, sleep, eat, and then go to work, and that's the daily life.
That's why I encourage all of you to chant. And when you have lunch break, you don't sit and talk nonsense. You just say, look, I want to take lunch and listen to some tape or something. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it will recharge you.
Most of the time, at work, you associate with people, who have, no such thing in their life.
I know, but then you show them what life is all about. You don't become part of the mass, You don't become a lemming. You don't become a human. You understand? You show them what life is meant for. So you say, oh, it's lunch break. They say, no, we have to finish this. They will say the whole week they'll be saying, we have to finish this. The whole year they will say, we have to finish this. When you retire, they'll say, we have to finish this project. Right? Tell me when they say they'll take it easy. Tell me. Have they ever said that? Never. This is material life. It's always on your pedal is on the foot is on the pedal, always.
Go, 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 go.
Go, go, go. And they think it's great, right? But no, you need a break.
Nobody knows where we are all going.
Yeah. Go, go, go.
Going down.
So you take a break. Lunch, you take a break. How many hours you all have for lunch? Half an hour, 1 hour?
Half.
Yeah. So then you shut up the whole world. If you are a boss, you have your own room, you lock your door, and then you're like, relax, take it easy. Don't worry about all the problems. It's still going to be there when you get out and come down to the room. So this is your time. Then you take prasad, you listen to some little class, 5-10 minutes, chant a few rounds, 1-2 rounds, and then go out and face again your duties. You recharge yourself, your energy. So therefore, that's how you become sane. Otherwise, you're going to become insane. Yeah, this lifestyle will make you insane. By the end of life, you don't know what is right and wrong. And the next person you ask also can't tell you what is right and wrong. Because animal only thinks what? Yeah, based on the senses. Oh, I feel hungry, I eat. Oh, this feels good, let me do some more. Until it feels no good, do something else. We are not like, we are not animals. We have a role to play. A higher purpose we have. So that is what we should think more. So yeah, you have a duty, do your duty. So when you are born, you have material things, so much. Spiritually, very little. But practice your spiritual life. As you get older, material needs should get less. Finally, after 55 or what, your spiritual understanding should be very strong, very high level. That's how it should be. And then you can progress from there. Not have any worries about the thing. You think about your connection with the Lord, how you can help others feel better, good about themselves. Material society don't make you feel good at all. It doesn't make you feel good about yourself. But spiritual life is a positive thing. It's a positive energy. You feel good about yourself. You know you make progress. You make your mistakes. You know there's a way to overcome it. Materially, there's nothing you can do. Very difficult to do. That's why if you are successful spiritually, you can easily overcome your material problems. Easily. Now, in the purport, there is this verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It talks about how one can elevate to the point of pure love. Okay? Adaushada tata sadhu sangata vajana kriya tato nartha nibritisya tato nishta ruchis tata atha shaktis tato bhavas tata prema vyudanjati sadhakanam ayam premna pradurbhave bhavat kramaha. These are things one should do. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. That means something you must have, desire, faith, a little faith that I can make advancement. This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. It's a normal procedure, right? If someone has something spiritual, you go and find out how to become like that. Right? Just like in your office also, when you first join, you don't know how to do something, you'll ask someone who knows how to do something. Right? The same way, if you want spiritual realization, you find someone who is practicing it, and then you associate with it. So that is called sadhu sangha. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master. So you need to be initiated. It's a natural progression. When you do this system, it's natural. You want to go higher. So therefore you take initiation. And under his instruction, the neophyte, that means neophyte, he doesn't know anything, so neophyte. Devotee begins the process of devotional service. It's only under the guidance of the spiritual master you are doing bhakti. Okay? Otherwise you can do anything you want. A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing bhakti myself. Yeah, I think about him. Every morning I see the picture and go, that's my bhakti. So that's, 24 hours and you can't hardly even give 5 minutes. I feel sometimes astonished, and other times I feel that, when I see people come, they'll drive 1 hour away from somewhere. They say you came to see the mandir, came to come. And they will come right when the curtain is closing. Essentially that's how I think they time. And then as the curtain is closing, they'll come. Or they will come after the curtain is closed. Then let's say for noon puja, before noon puja we do bhoga offering. Curtain is closed for how long? Half an hour maximum. Right? So they'll come when the curtain 11:30 is closing. They'll come. Hey, say, wait, half an hour, who's taking bhoga? No, we have no time, we have to go somewhere. Where are you coming from, sir? Oh, I came like 1 hour away from there. So you came 1 hour drive, and then now where are you going back for 1 hour? You can't give half an hour to wait. So, why? Because they don't understand the significance. The value of coming to see the Lord is not there, or that understanding is totally not there. So therefore, associating is very important. Because there are many things you don't know. Even if you read, right, there's some things you don't know. But when you talk to someone who has been practicing longer, you're like, wow, I didn't know about that. Well, that's interesting. Well, I can't accept that, but it's interesting. Let me think about it. So many things come, right? As more and more you listen, then your realization comes. Your own realization comes. Why? Two things. When you associate with someone who's advanced, you get also mercy and purified. Just like when you talk to someone in the street, there is a exchange of karma. You don't have to do anything. You just talk, you smile, you wave, there's an exchange of karma. So karma is very, very, but with the devotee, he is purifying you. So therefore it's better to come here to get purified than to go somewhere and get bombarded and dragged down into the material existence. So it's important. So you make your lives, change your life slightly every so often, right? Change a little bit every day, little bit, tweak here, tweak there. You know, just like you write quotes, right? Nowadays people don't care how they write. But in those days when we were writing quotes, we have to be so compact and efficient in terms of CPU usage and whatever, all those things. Now we just bang, right? So you have to tweak your lifestyles also a little bit. Okay, I'll cut down on this, you know. So I like to watch maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock news, but then half an hour, 10:30 I finish and I go to bed. So you can say, alright, from tomorrow I'll only watch the first 15 minutes. After a month you say, this news all useless, I can check it in the internet one time and I don't have to worry. Right? Then you get more time to sleep, get a refresher and do your devotional life much better. So you have to tweak little by little. Okay, I meet my friends every Friday, but they're always talking the same thing. For the last 20 years they've been talking the same nonsense over and over again. And I'm not getting anything out of them. We are saying the same jokes, saying the same bad things, the same guys. Right? This is, in fact, I'm not joking. I know this is how people think. Why you waste time then? It's already done. This is chewing the chew. Somebody chewed and put and you taking and chewing it. This is what it is. You don't want this life. And you can say, no more Friday get together with these guys. And then if they ask me, I'll say I'm busy doing something else for my home, fixing something. You can say anything. Oh, I have to fix the mandir in our home. My wife is getting on my case. So like that you give up. They're not good association anyway. They're not helping you. Once in a while you meet them and say, hey, hi, then go away. So slowly you change. Slowly you change. Tweak. Finally in your life, you know I'm doing only for Krishna. That is how you should come. So that's why Sadhu Sangha is important. Of all the process, the most important is Sadhu Sangha. It's the most positive and it's most dynamic at the same time. It helps you propel to the next level easily. The impetus to want to change is in association. That's important. So you need to think like that. Otherwise, you cannot make advancement. It will take lifetimes otherwise. The opportunity is here. So let's make our, don't waste our lifetime.
So, Prabhuji, again, it comes to attachment. You say this guy, just forget and try to keep away from that particular individual. That can be anybody, right? Your close relatives, your family.
Anybody. If you feel they are not really helpful. And if you, once in a while you talk to them, but not like in the same way anymore.
You can try to encourage them to be nice, spiritual,
yes.
But you get exhausted, after a while.
Then you can avoid them. It's not hard to avoid it.
Yeah. People feel that okay,
They may say, why you don't talk to me? Then you can say, look, you can be very honest with the person if they can handle it. Or if they can't handle it, then you have to find some excuse to say why you can't spend so much time. Then you can say, look, I only have so much time. I'm very busy with my life. You don't have to tell what you're doing. They probably think you're working hard at work. So you say, I can give you 15 minutes. Tell me what you want to tell. I'll see if I can help you like that. But in a positive way, in a kind way, because you mean well for them also. And then at the end of the conversation, you can say, Hare Krishna. Right? And if they ask you why you say Hare Krishna, you can say, I'm giving you blessings. Right? So that's little by little you change your lifestyle, then you can help others so much. Then you realize your real propensities, your real true nature is actually very loving. Actually, Jiva is a loving person. Otherwise, you find in this body you act like so fine. Sometimes you all reflect, why did I do like that? Why did I talk like that? Why did I say all these stupid things? Yeah, already we know the forces of nature will force. But if you practice Krishna consciousness, you will find that you won't react like that. And then the way you speak, you're concerned, you don't want to hurt them. At the same time, you want to be factual. Then they'll say, you change, different, you are, Or if you are a bad person, you change, they'll say you're good. If you're good, they'll say you're even nicer than before. So these are important things to bear in our mind and hearts. And then when we approach to the Lord, we don't pray to the Lord for, give me this material thing. No, you say, let me be a good servant. Let me understand you. Let me pray to you. Let me help others as well. Please bless me like that. Then your needs are taken care of by the Lord. He will automatically make sure you get your so-called promotions or whatever, because you're not attached to it anymore. Those things will happen. He will make sure you're not bothered by matter anymore. If you are bothered with Him, then He'll make sure matter doesn't bother you. So it's important. You'll acquire taste for hearing more Krishna Katha. You'll acquire all these things if you do sadhusanga. That is the basis of every other things you get. Your intensity, the intensity to chant, the focus will get more condensed. All this will come about very quickly when you do the right way. When you associate also, you have to be careful not to hurt the devotees. Some may be new, some may be higher than you, so on. So you just don't hurt anyone's feeling. You associate nicely. Be kind to everyone. Always think you are the person who has the most faults. Yeah. All the others are better than you. Like that. If you have that consciousness, you become focused on chanting. And then with the chanting focus, it will reveal, the Naam will reveal to you who Krishna is, the holy name. And then it will show you the pastimes. And then before long you are no more of this world. So this is the process it talks about. So the taste must develop. If you don't develop the taste, that means something is wrong with your practice. Yeah.
How do you find that? What is wrong with you? What is the missing piece from your practice?
Guru will tell you.
Yeah, you talk to the devotees. If you are very sincere and if they have no fear that you will shout at them or what, then they will be telling you, yeah, Anil, this is your problem. And then you're like, oh really? I didn't know, I'm such an idiot. Why am I doing this thing? And you change your behavior. So, Guru can tell you also. Generally, devotees will tell you. Sometimes the devotees don't know how to tell also. They are harsh about it. But we should change that. If I tell you, don't get angry. I think this is what I think, they can tell you.
Maybe I can talk to you after the class.
Yeah, I'm here to help. Whatever I can help, I'll help. Not that I know the whole universe, but I can help. Because of experience, what I've seen and so on. Yeah, sure. So we make progress there. And it is important. It is the most important thing. We want to taste, we want to know Krishna intimately. So everything else becomes secondary. And it should become secondary. Duty, everything is secondary. Main thing is duty to Krishna.
only fear is sometimes I think to keep the balance, because this is all so attractive.
Yes.
Because then you tend to think if I'm
Or you
I'm
go over
not
the board.
I have the fear if I'm not fulfilling my responsibilities, really. That's my check all the time. Am I doing what? I'm a mom of 3 kids, really. So
Okay, so
I
your
have to
husband is
work.
there,
Yeah.
so you check with him. Right?
Yeah, I think that's my fear, because
Yeah.
I get so pulled into
That's
this.
fine, that's
something.
fine.
I just want to make sure I'm not.
No, you see, husband and wife are supposed to help each other. That's what the marriage institution is all about. So if you are very devotional, and if he can take your slack, that's fine. But if he finds that he can't handle someone, then he'll tell you, say, hey, Gita, this is off the
You need
page.
to pay more attention.
Yeah, pay more attention to your son, daughter, because they need nurturing, they need the mother's affection. So if you are just, Krishna, Krishna, that's it. So you can't do that also. Extremes also not recommended. So you'll say, pay some attention. And then as a family, you also have to spend time with the children together. Maybe you need to go out some like Grand Canyon or whatever, take them out. Yeah, that is also healthy for them. Because they will have friends who say, I went here, I went to the zoo, I watched this and so on. And then your kids like, we didn't do anything. So yeah, some things you do, these are things that in the mode of goodness, you can do those things. And if they want to watch a movie, you don't necessarily have to go to the movie theater to watch. You can rent, and you can make sure those movies are appropriate, valid, and then after you have reviewed it, both of you, then it's like, okay, let them watch like that. It should be like that. Not just give the CD, I don't know, I bought it in the store, watch, finish. Raising kids means you want to raise them to be decent persons that are respected by society. People should tell you, you have a good son. Then you have at least done something correct in this life. Actually it says in the scripture, you cannot be a father, you cannot be a mother, you cannot be a guru if you cannot deliver them to Krishna. Such a heavy statement.
You have to do your duty, right?
Yeah. So after you do everything, you give them Krishna everything, after 16, if they don't want to take it up, hey, it's not your fault, man. You can say, hey, I've done my duty. Of course, out of affection and so on, you feel bad that they are not taking it. But what can you do? You did your best, and you will know in your heart you did your best. So, yeah, think about all these things. All of you have families, don't you waste your opportunities. That's my fear. That's a great opportunity. You don't know, in 10, 15 years now, you may not get some of these opportunities. Things can change, life situation can change. Alright, text 11. ये यतमां प्रपद्यन्ते तां सदैव भजाम्यहम् मामवद्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वशः As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. Vasana Prita. Everyone is actually searching for Krishna in their own way, in different aspects. The Lord is manifested in different way in this universe. Some through His vibhu potencies, different potencies. So like if you go into a jungle, the aborigines in the jungle, when they see a big lightning, or they will say that is, powerful entity like that. So they see the Lord in that way. So different cultures, different people see the Lord in His different aspects of manifestation. Because why? Why is that? Why is that we are looking for the Lord?
Because the spirit was supposed to be working musical again. So God had
Okay, partially that. We are spirit soul, and the spirit soul is always looking for what? Bliss.
Yeah.
By nature he is blissful, so he wants to be blissful. So he's looking for Krishna. doesn't know them. So he's looking for sources of happiness in the wrong places. So therefore he is actually looking for the Lord. This is the point Krishna is saying. And I reward them accordingly through their karma. The closer, more spiritual you are, the more he is closer to you. If you are not spiritual, then he rewards you accordingly based on karma and so on.
Isn't the spirit soul actually active? And yesterday when you were explaining that even the spirit soul goes to Brahmaloka, it is so active.
It is active.
It will come back.
It will come back, yeah. Because he is active means he wants to engage in some action. He cannot just remain in the Brahma Jyoti, not Brahmaloka, Jyoti. Just can't remain there. Even if you have kids, just tell them to stay quiet for 1 minute, 2 minutes. How?
1 minute.
Yeah. Okay, so you know. So you know, right? So that is the spirit soul. He can't remain not doing anything. So by misuse of knowledge, some of the jivas go to this Brahma Jyoti. But then after a while they feel that they're not happy actually. It's not complete bliss. It's partial. So they come out. Then they take birth. So yeah. So again in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about the Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So you touched on it. 3 levels of realizing the Lord. So that's one. The other way is the yogis, they meditate, and they meditate on the Paramatma in the heart. Now, unless they understand that the Paramatma is the Supreme Lord, if they realize and see the Paramatma, they think it is their reflection. Which then is a wrong understanding, because that's impersonalism. To think he is I. So then it's a partial impersonalism. So then they will not worship him as the Supreme Lord. Then they will sometimes think they are the Supreme. Look, I have 4 arms. I have the Shankha, Gada, Chakra. I have the conch shells. The club, the flower, lotus flower, and even the wheel. They think like that. So, unless you train properly, you will misidentify with the Lord, thinking you are the Lord. So that is also a wrong way. But that's only a partial, slightly more than the Brahman. But if one is guided to think that this is also the Supreme Lord, then he will worship the Lord and want to do service. Then that Paramatma will bring him to the next level, which is Bhagavan. That becomes Bhagavan actually. To see the Paramatma and not wanting to do seva is still not complete. To see the Paramatma and want to do service, then it's complete. That's a Bhagavan. That's what we are aiming for. That is complete realization. Otherwise everything is partial. So therefore you have 3 aspects. The Lord is kind because there are people who don't want to completely serve Him yet. So you say, okay, then you serve my partial expansions.
Is it similar to the Advaita and Advaita philosophy? Like,
The Mayavad.
like Advaita is you and God are one.
Yeah, so that is Mayavad.
And then the other one is you are separate.
Yes.
entities.
Dvaita.
So
So
what you are talking about right now, when you're talking about
we are separate.
That we are separate.
We are separate. It is in the Bhagavad Gita it's very clear. Krishna says we are separate entities. We are not one. Eternally existing separately. So never as one.
You never merge.
Never merge. Cannot merge.
You
But
always
we
coexist.
also talk in the first few chapters
Yes.
that Atma
Yes.
is a part of the Paramatma, which
Yes.
is like an ocean, and the Atma
Yes.
is all. You are as pure as Paramatma.
Yes, it is from part and parcel. In terms of quality is one and same. Okay? But it is not the same. Like you are not me, right?
And we talked about souls and the
No, I'm asking you, you are you and I'm me. So we are not one. So we are separate eternally. So the same with the Supreme Lord and yourself, your individuals. But of the same nature. Okay? spiritual nature. So in that sense you can say we are a drop in the ocean like that, same. But we are not the ocean. Okay?
We are separate, but we are part of Him, right? I mean, we came from
Yeah,
Him.
yeah.
So there
We
is a
coexist separately,
Yes.
but we are still part of Him.
Yes, I agree with that. But you are not Him.
That's what he said, we're part of the drop in like the ocean,
Yeah.
but we are not the ocean.
Yes.
So we agree that there is two different things, Atma and Paramatma.
Yes.
Ultimately they are the same because they come from the same.
Yeah.
But still in the existence they are different.
Yeah, so it's eternally separate. That's my point. Regardless of how you want to. Yeah.
That's the same like qualitative, quantitative, right?
That's-
Qualitatively, we have to say-
Quantitatively, like the ocean, yeah, we are minute. We are nothing actually for the Lord. Quantitatively, but qualitatively we are the same. Okay?
So this life is real.
The life you exist, you experience, all these experiences are real, but temporary. Okay? Because it's a cycle. Once you lose your body, you have to either take another body, or if you are successful, you go back to the spiritual realm. Yeah. So therefore people also do this. To fully understand the Bhagavan feature, the full feature, you have to go through this devotional service strictly. Then you understand the position of Krishna or Vishnu or Narayan or Rama. All of them are acceptable. If you have any affection for all of them, that is fine. Okay, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But everyone is looking for Krishna in their own way, basically, or Supreme Lord in their own way. So, for someone who's doing karma kanda, they see Krishna where?
You can enjoy the work.
In their
Karma.
karma kanda, what they do?
Rituals.
Yeah. So they see the Lord who gives them, that's how they see Him as Supreme, because He's giving me something. It's based on that. Okay, for someone who's karma kanda. And for the impersonalist, he sees the Lord in the Brahma Jyoti. That's why he's worshipping to merge in the Brahma Jyoti. And then for the yogis, they are trying to get, no, they are getting what? They want to get mystic powers. So they see the Lord in their mystic power, potency. And then finally for devotees, we see the Lord in different ways we relate to Him. Someone sees Him as the master, someone sees Him as his friend, child, and then as a lover, like that. So there's rasas are there.
What the yogis do is Ashtanga Yoga.
Yeah. The same process, if you go for mysticism, you get the potency. But you can use the same process to meditate on the Supreme Lord and go back to Godhead also. Those processes are valid, but it's just that you can't do it in this age. Not possible to do. We can't control our senses like the yogis used to do. So for us to control the senses, the best way is to chant, take prasadam. You're satisfied. So all these processes are actually not complete, okay, or we can say imperfect. The one who comes to Krishna, that is the complete. Okay, that's a proper understanding. So therefore, even when you are doing yajna, you are dependent on Krishna indirectly. You are not accepting Him, but you just want your yajna results. But actually, who's giving the results? Krishna. The mystic yogi also, he gets his mystic power to fly around. Who's giving him? It's coming from Krishna. Even though he may worship a demigod, but who's giving the demigod the ability to give him the powers? It's Krishna. Or Narayan or Vishnu. People come to those points. So, you will see in the spiritual transcendental part, all this part are like yoga ladders which we showed. So they will lead to the next stage like that. So once you understand how they are fitting in the picture, then you understand the best process is bhakti. So Krishna says in the 6th chapter, Yoginam api sarveshu. Of all these yogis, this true bhakti is the topmost yogi. Alright, so next text 11-12. Anyway, let's look at one verse at the last paragraph in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajata purusham param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So initially you may have so many material needs. So according to this verse, okay, you may have that, but accept Krishna and pray to Him in a sincere way, that if He can help you become a better devotee and satisfy you with your material needs. So then He will reciprocate in kind. Ultimately you come to a point where you don't want from Krishna anything. In the beginning you want, then as you progress in your purity, you're like, no, I shouldn't be asking, I should be serving. So that is a change in consciousness, and it should take place gradually. It should take place. You know, after 1 year you can know yourself how much you are attached to some material things or not. So if you see you haven't changed, then you should do something about it. Not changing your lifestyle a little bit more, asking for advice, things like that. Because He's giving me something. It's based on that. Okay, for someone who's karma. And for the impersonalists, he sees the Lord in the Brahma Jyoti. That's why he's worshipping to merge in the Brahma Jyoti. And then for the yogis, they are trying to get, no, they are getting what? They want to get mystic powers. So they see the Lord in their mystic power, potency. And then finally for devotees, we see the Lord in different ways we relate to Him. Someone sees Him as the master, someone sees Him as his friend, child, and then as a lover, like that. So there's rasas are there.
What the yogis do is Ashtanga Yoga?
Yeah. The same process, if you go for mysticism, you get the potency. But you can use the same process to meditate on the Supreme Lord and go back to Godhead also. Those processes are valid, but it's just that you can't do it in this age. Not possible to do. We can't control our senses like the yogis used to do. So for us to control the senses, the best way is to chant, take prasadam. You're satisfied. So all these processes are actually not complete, okay, or we can say imperfect. The one who comes to Krishna, that is the complete. Okay, that's a proper understanding. So therefore, even when you are doing yajna, you are dependent on Krishna indirectly. You are not accepting it, but you just want your yajna results. But actually, who's giving the results? Krishna. The mystic yogi also, he gets his mystic power to fly around. Who's giving it? It's coming from Krishna. Even though he may worship a demigod, but who's giving the demigod the ability to give him the powers? It's Krishna. Or Narayana or Vishnu. People come to those places. So, you will see in the spiritual transcendental path, all this path are like yoga ladders which we showed. So they will lead to the next stage. So once you understand how they are fitting in the picture, then you understand the best process is bhakti. So Krishna says in the 6th chapter, Yoginam api sarveshu. Of all these yogis, this true bhakti is the topmost yogi. Right, so next text 11-12. Anyway, let's look at one verse at the last paragraph in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajata purusham param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So initially you may have so many material needs. So according to this verse, okay, you may have that, but accept Krishna and pray to him in a sincere way, that if he can help you become a better devotee and satisfy you with your material needs. So then he will reciprocate in kind. Ultimately you come to a point where you don't want from Krishna anything. In the beginning you want, then as you progress in your purity, you're like, no, I shouldn't be asking, I should be serving. So that is a change in consciousness, and it should take place gradually. It should take place. You know, after 1 year you can know yourself how much you are attached to some material things or not. So if you see you haven't changed, then you should do something about it. Not changing your lifestyle a little bit more, asking for advice, things like that. Alright, text 12. Kankshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha shikram hi manuse loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. Prabhupada writes in the purport, there is a great misconception about gods or demigods of this material world, and men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigods are not different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one and the part and parcels are many. The Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam, God is one. Ishvara Parama Krishna, the Supreme God is one, Krishna, and the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, Jivatmas, with different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme God, Narayana, Vishnu or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or Pashandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by the demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. That means they think God is in the form of a human. So by worshipping human, any human being, you are worshipping God. They think that. So that's not correct. It's like anthropology, right? Yeah. Well, zoo, let me check.
Zoo is animal, I thought.
Yeah.
Study of animals.
Animals.
Zoology is study of animals, right?
Yeah, it is worshipping animal form.
Oh, worshipping animals.
Yeah. Let me just check it to zoomorphism. Yeah, morphism means to change. So zoomorphism must mean animal form.
But you say animal form, but it's, many avatars,
Yes.
he came as...
Yeah, all forms are coming from him.
Right, but then why, then we worship God in that avatar.
No, but you can't just worship a dog in the street like that, right? Yeah. That's what it is.
What about cow worship then? Cow worship is not, would not be...
It is in the Shastra. It explains how the cow is, the position of the cow and so on. So yeah, in the body of the cow, it is said all the 33 million demigods are there. So therefore the cow represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that sense. So we worship her in that sense. And she defines with the bull, dharma and religious life. So therefore you protect the cow and the bull. So those who don't protect, definitely you see the whole culture will collapse. It is, you will see it. It seems like that. So basically, it is like you imagine the God is like an animal, which is wrong. There's no imagination. Matsya Avatar or not, it's not imagination. It's in the scriptures how he looks and how he is worshipped. So that's the difference what zoomorphism means, seeing animals as supreme power. Okay, so then let's see. Iha Devataha denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. But Narayana, Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. Krishna already said that. Even when I say, I create this, but I am not part of this. Remember? He said it in the 3rd chapter. But however, let's see. Even Sripad Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, the Advaita people, maintains that Narayana or Krishna is beyond this material creation. However, foolish people worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get the results, but they do not know the results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent person. Even if you get billions of dollars, you worship and you get, you cannot take it to your next life. Right? So then it's not yours in the first place.
You come empty-handed, you go empty.
Yeah, that's how it is. So we need to understand this. By constant reading, you will realize all these things. It makes a lot of sense. And then you can progress in your Krishna consciousness. Yeah, they're not interested. Most people are not interested in a permanent solution. They want temporary relief. It's like, let's say, you are in a swimming pool, okay? Then someone push you down in your head underwater. What is it that you want after that? Yeah, so you will want that. As soon as you come out, you feel so happy, right? That is how material existence. Ever so often we get to breathe, and then we think this is so wonderful. But more than often we are drowning. Text 13. Chaturvanyam maya shristam guna karma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram abhimam vidya kartaram avyayam. According to the 3 modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the 4 divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So he is aloof. Whatever he created, he is not bound by the rules. Just like when you design something, you can go in and still change and come back, and it doesn't affect you. The same way, he designed this world for us, not for him. So the material nature is not superior to him. He is superior, he is the master. So he has created this so that we can progress and achieve a higher consciousness and ultimately realize our eternal relationship with Krishna. So this is how it's set up. So the division is set based on what? What is the criteria?
Guna karma.
Guna and karma. Okay? Guna means?
Qualities.
Quality. What kind of qualities we are talking about? No, it's material qualities, based on your
Intelligence.
Good karma.
no, more of goodness, more of passion, more of ignorance. How much you are of this or that.
Modes of nature.
And then karma. Karma means what you want to do. What is your propensity? How you want to act on. So it's based on your quality and based on the things that you like to do. So that's why you find some people may be born in a Brahmin family, but then he only wants to do activities that are pertaining to Shudra. And then you find some people may be born in a Shudra family, but he likes to do things, or he has a propensity to do qualities in the mode of goodness, Brahminical qualities. And then you find these things. But in Kali Yuga it's so mixed. You find someone who's born in a Brahmin family, he may have Brahmana quality, he may have Shudra quality, he may have Vaishya quality, and a little bit of Kshatriya here. So it's mixed nowadays. Predominantly it's mixed. So what we are doing here is we are educating people to raise them to the Brahminical culture at least. Those who can do it, yeah. So that's why you do it through the Pancharatriki Viddhi. You take initiation from Guru, then he gives you Brahman initiation to go on the altar and do, practice it so that your Brahminical qualities come out. So it is not against scripture. It's based on your guna and karma. Okay? So it's not what the smarta Brahmanas will tell you, right? No, you're not. You have to take birth in the Brahman family. It's not like that. It's not. You can see very clearly what Krishna is saying. It's not based on family lineage or whatever. Even if the king's son is born, the prince, he's not eligible to the throne unless he has the qualifications. Even he can be trained, but if he's a fool, the king cannot appoint him as a king, the next king. It's not. That's how it was in the previous yugas. Okay, so this.
But now
Dhritarashtra was done the same way.
Yeah,
Because he was not qualified.
he was not qualified. He's blind, so they say you can't be a king. So he had to step down.
But now it is happening because of Kali.
Yeah, it's basically people don't understand how to put people in a, for example, in position, in power, and so that's why you have so much difficulty, because if you put a Shudra as a manager, he doesn't know how to deal with the situation. Right? He will fight with people and kick them out or fight. So Shudra people like to fight. Brahmin people will discuss and realize this is the best way, and then the Kshatriya will come and execute, chop. So we have to see who is more in this guna, and then we say, okay, this guy has a bit of Kshatriya, let him manage, and this one is okay. Sometimes the situation you don't have the right people, so under the auspices of a superior person, you on their behalf take care of that. Yeah. But you may not be the best person, but because they have asked you, under their guidance you can. Otherwise you follow this system as Krishna says. So Brahmanas are predominantly in which mode?
Goodness.
Mode of goodness. Kshatriyas? Passion. Vaishyas? No. They are a mix of passion and ignorance. Those who are Vaishyas have both these qualities. Passion and ignorance. And Shudras are basically in ignorance. Okay. And Krishna says, and although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer. That means he is not any of this varna, or guna, this. He's beyond that. Why? Because he's not a conditioned soul. Okay? He's not conditioned. So remember, Krishna is justifying and explaining to Arjuna who he is now. And this is information for us to know. This is what a supreme person is, someone who is beyond. Now if you follow Krishna's instruction, then you are as good as the Supreme Lord, because you are following exactly what he does. So the effects of the modes, the effects of your karma cannot touch you. But as soon as you do it for yourself, it will affect you. It's like when you do all for the Lord, then you have a shield around you, so nothing can touch you. So no karma, no gunas acting on. But as soon as you think, oh, I want to do for myself, bang, you are under the material nature. Instantly. No escape. That's why we practice this now. So slowly we come to a stage where we will 100% for Krishna. Whatever my action is for Krishna. Not for calculate, I'll do a little bit for Krishna for me. At this beginning you will think like that. And later on, no, we shouldn't think. That's calling a practice. That's sadhana bhakti, to come to the higher stage. Okay? So he is the creator of this four division, not by any man or thing. It is in the Shastra. And this is scientific. You will see in society, there are some people who are very intelligent, but they don't like to do any physical work and so on. But they are very much into all this philosophy, studying and so on, studious and so on, academics, like the philosophers. So they are basically in the mode of goodness, basically. But they also have other qualities in Kali Yuga, mixed. But predominantly they are more in the goodness. Then the others who want to join the army, fight, every little thing only, they want to fight like that. So they have that Kshatriya tendency, more of passion is there. Then there are people, predominantly nowadays you see a lot of people like to business deal. Huh? You talk to them and they are calculating how to make money from you. And then you ask him, where can I buy? And the guy will say, no, I can get it for you, but it will cost you so much. He's already adding 10 or 15% to the cost.
Most of us are Vaishyas in this yoga.
No, Shudras.
Shudras.
And then you have people who are always working for others. You will see in society, right? You see, oh no, I can't do this, no, but I have to go to work tomorrow. Like this. So they are Shudras. They have no ability to do or manage or things like that. But the Shudras think they can do everything. That's where the problem starts. Therefore, Shudras always will fight with the Vaishyas. Because the Vaishyas are trying to make profit from the Shudra. And the Shudra will say, why are you charging me so much? So that's the situation now in the world. Some Vaishyas and predominantly Shudras, and they are managed by Vaishyas. Prabhupada, for example, I heard in a conversation, Prabhupada was saying that America is more Vaishya and the Russians are more Shudras. In those days, he said. So therefore, there's always fight in the world. It's always fighting. So you can see they're more capitalists here and they are like communists. So he was, in that sense, he was comparing. Communism means everyone work together. But you can't. Some people can't do certain things. Their nature is not like that. It is scientific. And you will find that basically in society, anything, anywhere, they will come. Some people will rise to certain positions, some will go down to a certain position, and they are happy. In the same way with your children also. Remember I said in the beginning, you cannot force them to be something you want. They have to come with your attraction for what they want to do, because it's their guna. You guide them, you give them the education, you encourage them, but you don't tell what their career should be, because unless you can see what their guna is, you cannot guide them. Alright, so, and why the Lord created this system? What is the reason for? I've already explained many times.
He has to learn. This word has to be learned.
Yeah, but why this system?
Purification.
Okay, for purification. To raise everyone to the mode of? Yeah, so as a Shudra, if you serve the other three varnas, you also have the same distinction as the Brahmana, performing his yajna for the other three. That means your duty you are doing properly. So your consciousness will be raised to mode of goodness. So this elevates everyone from the status of an animal to a human being in the mode of goodness. Okay? And systematically, as a Shudra, he's serving all, because he's serving all the ashram, and they are all serving the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, his service becomes purified, because they are all offering it to Krishna. So he is part of the whole Devi Varnashram. This is called Devi Varnashram. That means it's divine Varnashram. It's linked to Krishna. Everyone is serving each other to please the Supreme Lord. Now if you don't serve the Lord, then you will try to serve your senses. So that's what's going to happen. So that's why the system is set up, so that people will not become too attached to their body and their senses.
But I have a question, you might have answered. But fundamentally, why did first place God created people and the earth for them to attain the goodness or
Yeah, I did mention it. The original creation had for us was to serve Him eternally in the spiritual world. But because we have free will, when we were created, right, at one point in time, let's not go into time or anything, but we were created eternally. We decided that why we have to serve Krishna.
we did
Yeah, then he said, okay, see, so boom.
So is there any other earth kind of like planet?
Yeah,
like human
yes,
beings?
yes. They are all, there's three planetary systems: upper planetary where the devatas are, middle planetary system where human beings exist, and then the lower planetary system where the demons, rakshasas, and hellish planets exist. In the middle planetary system there are many planets, human form. Some are slightly higher, some are slightly lower, like that. So we are in one of them.
When you talk about layers, are you talking about different dimensions?
Yeah, okay, you can say it's dimensional. Yeah. You can't see some of them, they are in the subtle realm also. But they are all within the universe. Okay.
So is this the one that called Trisenkusvarga? Or not? Trisenkusvarga, have you heard that word?
Trishanku?
What is that?
From Vashishta's, no, Vishwamitra's pastime. No? The king wanted to go in the same body, and his material body. Then he wanted to go, then Indra said no. So he approached Vishwamitra and pleased Vishwamitra and said, they don't let me go. And he said, I will take, with my potency, I can send you back to the Svargaloka. So then he started sending Trishanku. Then at that moment, Indra came and stopped him. So Vishwamitra got very angry. So then he said, you think you are so great, I will create the entire universe again. So then he started creating Brahmaloka. So Brahma can say, hey, stop, you can't do like this. So yeah, this is the pastime. Yeah. But it's still in the material realm. There are very good instructions in the Puranas. If you read that, you can understand. You cannot go in this material body to a higher planetary system. So finally, Trishanku had to give up his material body and then go. Yeah.
So Trisenkusvarga is commonly used in India when people get stuck in between.
But it's possible. There are many planetary systems that you can't see. There's one just outside our planet also. We can't see. It's on a, like you say, you can say dimension. But it's in a finer, different elements go differently. Like a mind, you can't see the mind, right? Now, Lord Brahma's body is made up of intelligence, pure intelligence. Okay? Can you imagine that? You can't see what intelligence is, but his body is made up of intelligence. So as you go higher and higher, it becomes finer and finer. The whole, when you read the Puranas, you see, and it's astonishing how this universe is made up, and the scientists only know some aspect of it. Okay? Yeah, so this is the reason why he created, so that we can elevate our consciousness to become human beings, and from human beings you can understand Krishna better like that.
So you mean to say other planet, Earths, kind of thing. So they are also like Brahma, you said Brahma.
Same.
So it is not visible so much. Like
you can't see them. They may not be able to see us within this planet. If they are higher planetary slightly, they may be able to see us.
But we are able to see many other planets.
Yeah, but you can't really assess really, where they are. Yeah. Some of these planets may from material point of view, you can only see it, but you can't reach it. Even when you shoot a rocket, it may not be going to the same place. Even if you go there, you cannot see the inhabitants there because you don't have the vision. So it becomes quite complicated when you go into those areas.
Maybe Mars is like that.
Yeah, possible, I do not.
Brahma created the people and then Krishna, before he descended as Krishna, created the Varnas.
No, the living entities are already there. And they each have their own desires. So then when Brahma wanted to create the universe, he prays to the Lord. And the Lord gives him the ability to pray. And then once he does that, the reason for this is these jivas must continue with their desires. So where? So Brahma is the firstborn. And then he is given the ability, he's called this engineer of this universe. He is not the creator. He's the engineer. So all the elements, all the products are given to him. But with his mystic potency, and once he learns the secret from Krishna, who gives him through the Gayatri mantra, then he creates this universe. So he creates the planets, and then he puts all the entities into, your body is this, bang, 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 bang. I mean, it's faster than the fastest computer you have here. And the Varnas are based on your qualities, yeah. Everyone is, so he created the first Brahmanas who are demigods, rishis, all this Kardama Muni and all, they are demigods. So they are the first Brahmanas. And then from them the lineage starts into this, and then you get other creations from them. Their children are birds, animals, insects, and so they populate like that. Interesting, but that's how it is. That's an evolution from the Vedic viewpoint. So it's not chicken or egg, it's bang. Yeah. The birds are created from one of the demigoddess through Kardama Muni, Kashyapa Muni. It's all in the Bhagavatam. If you read our Bhagavatam, it's there. You have to spend a good time reading and understanding. Alright, so even though we can develop Brahminical qualities, a Vaishnava is superior than a Brahmana. So even though you may be Shudra, but if you worship Krishna, your quality is actually superior than a Brahmana. Because a Brahmana is supposed to, in the end, become a Vaishnava. That means he should worship Krishna and go back to God. Then his journey is complete. So, but we have the opportunity now because of in Kali Yuga, this is the best opportunity. We take up this process, we become Vaishnavas, we take initiation, and then we do, on the altar we do Brahmanical service. Then if the bathroom is dirty, we run quickly, go wash it, clean, take shower, go back on the altar. The Brahmanas won't do that. So I can't touch that. But Vaishnavas will do anything for Krishna. So therefore they are superior. They are not interested in all these things. They are interested in serving Krishna. Yes. That's the idea. So when we say Krishna consciousness, in case some of you are wondering, it includes Ram, Avatar, Narayana, Vishnu, Matsya, all the other souls. So if you have affinity for some of these, Narsingha, or you only like it, fine. But still chant your Hare Krishna. You can go back to the Narsingha's planet if you want. Then you can. That's fine. Okay. We still have half an hour. Text 14. Namam karmani limpanti Name karma phale spriha Dimam yo vijanati Karma veda sabhadyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Okay, that means Krishna is free from all fruitive attachment. He's not. He's not material himself. He's superior to matter. So what joy does he get, right? So therefore he is not attached to anything here. He has no personal interest when he created this Varna and Ashram and all. He has no personal interest. He creates it for who? For us. That's his interest, to help us to rectify our bad behavior. So he created this Varna and Ashram.
So that's why we offer prasadam to him. So
Bhoga.
Like, what is the reason? And if he doesn't, naturally he doesn't.
Because it doesn't belong to us.
Right.
Therefore, by the show of offering to him, you're showing your affection and love to him. You're honoring that this is actually yours. You please take it and give us blessing. Like that. That's the reason. He doesn't need it. You're rightly right. But because we offer in that way, then we are showing that we are submissive to him and we want to develop a relationship with him.
And also we feel that Krishna is giving us.
Yes, he is giving us to us. So this is, because nothing belongs to us.
Yeah. So that's maybe another reason. We are saying that it doesn't belong to us,
Yes.
but we are going to take it for our own survival.
Exactly. So when you know it doesn't belong to you and you use it without asking permission, you are a thief. Yeah. That's right. So, yeah. Therefore we have to first, Lord, it's yours, you please give your blessing so that we are hungry anyway, but you please bless it. Then he says, okay, then there's no karma, because you ask permission. So therefore we call it bhoga before you offer. Yeah. Bhoga means to be enjoyed. Bhakta. The person who is bhakta is Krishna. So bhoga you offer, Once he has accepted it, it becomes mercy or prasad. So that's the difference. Okay. So basically it's like when he says, one cannot blame him for our own karma. He created the varnashram system. But we, in the varna and ashram, we are the ones who are doing all the actions. We do something right, we do something against the scripture and so on. We are the ones who are doing it. So therefore we are responsible for our own karma. So we cannot blame Krishna for our misfortunes. Ultimately we are the ones who are doing it. The only thing we get is results. You kill somebody, you have to get some reaction. You save somebody, you get some reaction. But it's within this universe, within this material universe, there is the good and bad reactions that is going to come according to our actions. But he is not forcing you to do good, he is not forcing you to do bad. But he is telling you there is a way to get out of this system. So generally sometimes people will blame, right? Oh, my life is miserable. He should know, he's God, why is he making me go through this? He didn't force you to go through this. We took this challenge, so to speak. So, when the sun goes down, the robbers and burglars come and steal, right, from your home. So therefore, you cannot blame the sun. If it was daytime, then nobody would have stolen. So you cannot blame the sun for the theft in your house. So we are like that. We blame Krishna for our actions.
We always blame somebody. If sun decides to stay for 24 hours, then we blame sun also.
Yeah, then you will say, why is not setting? So yeah, we have a tendency because our conditioning this material world is to find faults. The material world is, we will look for fault. And Krishna's position in the material world, even if he comes as avatar, you have to understand, he is not, because he's not part of this world, he's like the king. Right? The king passes laws and so on. So you will have to follow the law. But the king is not subject to that law that he passes. So same thing with Krishna. He's like that. And same thing if you have a property like this property and then there's a workers there. So the property owner is the for example, this temple property owner is actually the ISKCON, GBC side. They are the owners. We are not the owners. So whatever nonsense you do, it's not their fault. We are the ones who are doing nonsense. So it's like that. So similarly for Krishna, he's not subject to the laws of the material world. So, and he's not interested in the material happiness or the heavenly planets, because what he has cannot be matched here. His planetary system, spiritual, it's got his, we need electricity. There it's self-effulgent. Everything is on its own. You don't feel hungry. If you feel hungry, it will manifest what to eat, and then you eat, but you don't have to eat actually. It's like that. Everything is in bliss. The spiritual world is amazing place.
When Krishna is not responsible for
Our karma.
yeah.
It's our own
But
making.
how, we have to know what is good and what is
Yes.
bad, and who created the laws like that.
For that, Krishna gave you the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita and so on. So it's like you have a human body. Like you buy a computer, it comes with a manual, right? Says what are the basic setups and blah blah blah. Same thing. You take what the basic manual is the Shastras. So we have to live according to the Shastra. If you don't use the computer according to what it's meant for, then it becomes broken or whatever. Who are you going to blame? The same way, if you don't use the human body for the specific reason it's given, then who are you going to blame?
Then you earn the karma.
Yes. So the manuals are there, and unfortunately, if there's not enough people learned in this thing, then they cannot pass on the message. So just like now you all are finding so many informations helping you, you can always pass on to others without forcing people. You can say, look, I did this, it helped me. Why don't you try that? So like that, then they will get the intelligence, oh wow, it helped them. Okay. let me do. And then you find slowly people will get more faith and then they may want to do it seriously. But you have to be the example. They have to see you doing good. And to see you happy also. Because I've seen it. Most of the people say, you don't look happy while you're a devotee, that means you're not getting anything from it. They will say. People are always watching, particularly your children. They pick up on your moods and then they'll say, oh, you're chanting or you're not happy. They will tell you. Okay? So just like when it rains, so many different types of vegetables or grains grow. It's not the fault of the rain that these things grow anyhow, right?
Sometimes weeds grow because of
Yeah,
rain.
yeah. So you can't blame the rain for the weeds. So the Lord similarly gives you this material nature for our livelihood, but it's how you use it. Okay? If you misuse it, then you suffer the consequences. So you cannot blame the Lord for your mistakes. And that's how society is becoming. We have a generation of people who think they deserve everything. But then that's not how life is actually. You work hard for it. Forefathers worked hard to give you something. So similarly, you have to work hard to understand what it is. So if you read nicely, if you practice nicely, you will understand what transcendental life is all about. And then you will try to follow it as much as you can. And when you understand how karma acts to some extent, then you will avoid karma. An intelligent person will want to avoid karma. Right? Why would you want karma? Karma is binding. It will bind you to the material world. So you don't want karma. Whether it's good or bad, you don't want. You want to perform our karma activities. So then, that's an intelligent person. So in the meantime, you have prescribed duties. Yes. Your duty is always focus with Krishna in your mind. Krishna, I have to work this because I have to pay my bills, I have to get my kids educated, and I'll promise you I'll give them Krishna consciousness. Pray that they will become devotees. That mood should be there. Yeah? But like when you raise your kids, you have to tell them, you have to, how old are you? You are 6 years old, okay, then you can chant 1 round, then if you are 8 years old, then you should chant 4 rounds, like that. Otherwise, if they say, oh daddy, I want a PS2, this, then you buy, then what is the value behind that PS2, right? You're laughing. You can't just give. They have to learn that there's a value behind it and that there must be some austerities. If they don't understand that, then when they cannot live properly out there. They will not be, even if they get degrees and they get a job, they will not understand how to treat another person properly. So those qualities where you play a part, you teach those qualities. And you can teach if you understand what this world is like. The world outside is ruthless. This material is, if you don't prepare them for that, they will become themselves ruthless. They'll become bad managers. I don't care, because all in their life they got whatever they wanted. The parents provided. So when they are managers, they expect the same thing from their workers. Well, why not? Why can't you deliver? Fire, next guy, come. Bad managers. So when they understand the value of working hard, value of a person, compassionate, all these qualities, then they will treat people with some kindness. Okay, I'll give you a few more chances, I'll teach you something, now you go and do it, show me you can do it.
You have to earn it, right?
Huh?
You have to earn it.
Exactly, you got to earn. And then people will, you earn the trust of people. People will trust you and you will trust them. Quality. These are good qualities you will develop if you practice properly. Otherwise, you become useless. And so, based on our Vedic understanding, the Lord is the cause, the supreme cause of everything. But the immediate cause is material nature here. We are inside, the immediate cause. And the Lord says He is Sama Sarva Bhuteshu. I am equal to every living entity. It's not partial. But He is partial to devotees. Why? Because Yes, it's like a father, no? He can have so many children. He's equal to all of them. But if one particular child is so loving to him and always taking care of him, naturally he will have more affection for that child. So same with Krishna also. When we show affection to Krishna, he naturally, like a father, will show affection to us. Not that he is purposely only one us, no. It's our actions that attract him. Okay. And if you don't want to do this, understand this, then if you don't look to Krishna, we become captured by material nature, entangled in the gunas. And then we are trapped and we are very unhappy. So this is the point here in this particular purport.